TD is one of those banks that's been branded for convenience, convenient banking, longer hours, but convenience isn't the value proposition. Access is. TD is one of those banks, many people who do have success with them aren't the loudest, but they tend to be the most organized. So today we're going to go over the culture of TD Bank, products that they offer. We're talking personal, business, mortgage related. We're going to be going over how to build a relationship with them that'll get you stronger approvals, better limits, better access, and wealth building leverage. And also want you to pay close attention in the mortgage section because there's a couple hidden gems about mortgage products and qualifications that they provide and offer that can really change the game if you're really focused on real estate. For those of you focused on the business side, I'm going to also give you a little bit of a deeper dive on how you can get access to a pretty respectable amount of capital with limited documentation with TD Bank as well. So stick through for that as well. So I'm going to be covering my notes as always in the series. So for those of you who are new, just make sure you're paying attention and taking your own notes. And for those of you who are familiar, welcome back. Glad to have you back on the channel. We're going to dive straight into how to master this relationship, what TD Bank offers. So we're going to break this into 3 parts. TD culture and what they reward, the best products by goal. So we're talking personal, business, mortgage, and investing. We're going to look into each one of those segments. And wealth gap levers. You guys know I cover that a lot in this series per bank. So how TD becomes a ladder and not just a bank account. Very important. So don't treat this like a bank review. Treat it like a blueprint. If you're banking with TD Bank, or if you plan to bank with TD Bank, or after you hear this video or watch this video rather, and you find value in TD Bank and decide to make an effort to go to TD Bank, use this as a blueprint of what they offer and how to navigate to make the most out of the relationship. So part 1 is going to be TD's culture. Every bank has a personality, and there's literally at the time of this recording more than 4,000 financial institutions in this country, and every single one of them has their own tweak. A lot of rhymes and rhythms that'll be similar and the same, but trust me, every single one of these banks are privately owned or they're nonprofit, credit unions that have their own little tweaks to them based on the geography and the clientele base that they're serving. So TD's personality is activity plus relationship plus consistency. Keep that in mind. What TD signals in their own navigation. TD pushes digital onboarding, learning tools, and promotes setup features like TD Early Pay with direct deposit. So they offer a credit card pre-qualification pathway, which is really good because it gives you an insight on where you might stand without having to have a hard pull, which tells you TD is actively trying to convert qualified clients and use that as your positioning when you go to apply with them, okay? So basically, TD is telling you what they value: direct deposit, consistent activity, clean digital behavior. Those are the relationship signals for TD Bank. So write this one down. TD is an activity bank. It looks, if you look inactive, you look risky. They're an activity bank. So if you're inactive, you look risky. So a quick dive into their personal banking products. Of course, they offer a segment of checking and savings accounts, and TD explicitly promotes direct deposit perks, early pay. This is a relationship building benefit in plain sight. They're telling you out of the gate, like the majority of financial institutions, they value direct deposit heavily. That's going to be the majority of the cases with the majority of financial institutions. This is going to be favorable for W-2 workers. It's going to be favorable for those who are working in the gig economy or, solopreneurs that have some form of direct deposit in their form of payment. I've said it in many videos and will say it in many more. If you are an independent contractor, solopreneur, or business owner and you're not getting paid via direct deposit, ACH, then you may want to strongly consider getting on payroll services and getting that going for yourself. You will truly open so many more doors and lower the barrier of entry for yourself, or at least the resistance rather, if you're getting paid in that way. It is a preferred method of payment in the banking and lending system. So anyone planning to apply for credit or mortgages in 60 to 120 days, people rebuilding consistency after messy banking history, this is going to be me finishing out those who can benefit from their direct deposit signaling, where you can basically, again, if you're a W-2 worker, will set up direct deposit. Again, I'll read it in better order. People rebuilding consistency after messy banking history, and anyone planning to apply for a credit or mortgage product in the next 60 to 120 days. This is going to be a good setup for you. So if you want approvals, I want your deposits predictable first. Direct deposit is a trust signal. So that is the bank's ability to know that you're getting paid from a credible source. And there's a good likelihood that that payment is going to be consistent if you have a direct deposit, in theory, of course. So most people apply first and build later. This is one of the biggest problems with the majority of financial related, funding related, hack related financial videos on YouTube and Instagram. They set you up to get just in the door enough to go in and apply really quickly. And the real true building is maybe offered or promoted after the fact. And a lot of times this is unproductive, or at least leads you to a very short life cycle with these financial institutions. Banks reward the opposite. TD, so when we look at TD credit cards, they have cashback cards, they have low APR and 0% cards, and they have credit builder cards. So basically your same standard structure, competitive of commercial banks, which is going to be entry-level builder or rebuilder card. They have good cashback everyday daily driver cards. They have low APR, 0% cards. And of course, they also have, a high-end travel-related card, right? So cashback optimizers, you want to pick, obviously, the cashback. Debt strategists, if that's your lane that you're in, and you're obviously focused on lower APR, 0%. If you're looking to build or rebuild credit, obviously you're leaning in that direction. So if you're coming in cold, TD likes you more when you're already using their relationship, when you're already using them. So that basically means what I continue to say: work your ass off to focus on the deposit relationship, digital platform service uses before you try to apply. That is going to get you better results. Small businesses. Let's dive into this section. So there's a hidden power stack: business checking account lineup, relationship ladder. Let's call it. All right. So there's a business simple checking, business convenience checking plus, business interest checking, business premier, multiple business checking accounts. What this tells you is that they expect the business to graduate. There's 4 or 5 different tiers of banking relationships, checking accounts on the business banking side. That means they expect you to graduate. Start simple and then grow your deposits and needs as you go along. This is designed for you to stack up the ladder with them. So each of those products are going to be good for new and small operators with low transactions. There's an account if you are looking for convenience and interest. So growing revenue and stable deposits. Premier is going to be high balance, more complex operation. So the features, benefits, and the requirements for each of these accounts are designed to match a certain type of business owner. So they offer merchant services, payroll, and accounting integration. This is a beautiful thing because the magic happens with cash flow when it comes to businesses. So they're offering everything you need for payment processing, merchant solutions. They offer payroll and HR services, which is kind of unique. Online accounting enrollment. This is going to allow you to do your bookkeeping and all of that in-house, or at least close collaboration with TD Bank. This is the stuff you're going to get approved off of. So my recommendation is very simple. When you use merchant services and payroll, the bank sees real operating cash flow. That can change funding conversations drastically. All right. If your business money never touches your bank can't justify betting on you. Remember that. You will be astonished, and some of you may fit the bill, how many people are still hiding money from the bank or using obscure ways to get paid to duck taxes. It's ridiculous. And you're dodging 3 and 4 figure tax bills for 5, 6, and 7 figures in capital and access in the financial system. It doesn't make sense, but it's an opportunity or cost that most people don't see. So business loans, business lines, as the TD Bank works closely with SBA lending, and I'm going to actually go to their website for a quick second. Actually, let me see. Let's see if we can screen share for a second and look at this together, y'all, if y'all don't mind. I'm going to bring y'all through 2 sections, and I'm going to jump ahead. This is the mortgage section, but we'll come back to it. I wanted to show you that TD does a good job of actually illustrating what's needed. So they talk about the documentation that you need to open and establish a business deposit relationship. That's here. Hold on. Wait, I'm not done screen sharing. Hold on, y'all. All right, now we're there. So you guys should be able to see the screen now. They are laying out what you need to establish a deposit relationship with them. When we start looking at loans and lines of credit, I want to point something out interesting to you for those of you who are focused on business funding. They go over documents for loans and lines of credit applications. You see any DBA or assumed name stuff. You see bylaws, chapters, association, copies of meeting minutes if necessary, resolutions, LLC operating agreement, partnership banking agreement, requests 100 to 250,000, which can still be done online, by the way. 1 year of most recent business tax returns, possible other documents needed, personal financial statements, an entity guarantor form. Now, what is interesting about that bottom bullet point, request 100,000 to 250,000. Now, mind you, you can still apply online at this threshold. Anything north of 250,000, you have to go to a branch. Anything under 100,000 is drastically less likely to need even 1 year's tax returns. So if you have all of your formation documentation, bylaws, all of that cute, pretty stuff, operating agreement, a partnership if necessary, if you got all of that basic setup stuff and you're good standing with the Secretary of State, you want to have some of these other things in the backdrop just in case. But if you're under 100,000, TD Bank could approve you for up to $100,000 in business funding without any serious accounting related documentation. This is your low doc funding method for those of you who are in that space. This is your low doc. Anything under 100,000 is basically what this is saying. For me to translate it for you, you may not need tax returns. You may not need personal financial statements. You may not need cash flow statements. This is a great thing if you're a newer, smaller business. If you haven't gotten to the point where you got all that set up yet, but you do have an operational business that has some bank statements, that has cash flow running through, ideally with TD Bank, this is a gem for you that you can potentially get up to $100,000 without significant levels of documentation. Since we're here already, I'm going to work us back over to the mortgage side because I want to show you something there. So hold on for a second. We're going to get into that. Let me get back over here to my notes to make sure that we cover the business side. So again, just to close out the business side, they offer SBA related products, which is, again, SBA is one of the greatest wealth gap equalizers in the banking space for business owners. So we love to see that. They offer business credit cards, great cash back, great bonuses, 0% for 12 months. It's going to be great for operators with consistent spend, inventory, ads, supplies, owners who can automate payments, and businesses building a clean expense trail, which is bankability at the end of the day. So this isn't a cash flow tool. Use it to create clean statements and not to survive. And I'm talking about the business credit card when I say that. Mortgage and affordable lending. This is where it gets exciting for those of you who are focused on real estate or want to incorporate real estate. They offer FHA, which we know is 3.5 down, VA 0 down if you're a veteran or military associated. They offer a special RefiNow program, a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac program that has really good terms and conditions on refinances. This is why I tell you people, this is why I tell people don't disqualify yourself when it comes to the mortgage process, really any lending process. Some programs are built for edge cases, high DTI, low down payment, or unique refinancing scenarios. So let's take a look at TD Bank real quick on that side. What I wanted to show you, as you can see, they will work with first-time home buyers. There's affordable home loan programs we're about to dive into, build or renovate, and then refinance options. I'm not going to go into weeds on every single one of these. If y'all want longer videos where I break all of this down in depth, let me know in the chat, in the description section down below, in the comment section. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So what I want to get to is low down payment mortgages and affordable home loans. So this is going to be for first-time home buyers and others. So let's take a look at what they're offering. So explore our featured options with down payments as low as 3%. So TD Right Step Mortgage, no income limits for properties located in low to moderate income areas, census tracts or census tract. No borrower paid mortgage insurance, which is a beautiful thing that saves you money every month. Available for many property types, including condos, co-ops, and manufactured housing. TD Home Access Mortgage. You see that one here. Up to $10,000 lender credit available. That is a lot of change depending on the amount of home you're trying to borrow, purchase. No borrower paid mortgage insurance. Again, no PMI. Beautiful thing. Available again on multiple different facets of properties. FNMA Home Ready. That's Fannie Mae. No geographic restrictions. Borrower paid mortgage insurance, so reduced costs or other low down payment options. No minimum contributions for single family properties. This is at this same loan type. Is really what I want to get into. Does help cover 2 to 4 units. As a matter of fact, additional product features, you see it down here. Low down payment as low as 3%, flexible underwriting with minimum credit scores of 620. Down payment and closing costs can come from gift, grants, or community second mortgage. That's unique. 1 to 4 family primary residents are eligible. Powerful. If you're looking to get into the real estate side of things, TD Bank has some sleepers on the mortgage side. So we're talking about being able to get capital towards your home from multiple angles. 1 to 4 unit, you know, on this channel, and I'm biased because I come from a metro area where 2 to 4 units are very common, but we want multiple units on our primary residence in today's world. Not for the dream home, maybe, but for those of us looking to get on a property ladder and grow our network to get to our dream home, we want 2 to 4 units. These lending products apply. Imagine only needing to put 3.5%, 3% down, not needing more than the 620, being able to raise the money for closing costs and down payment, and get into a 2 to 4 unit property that can help pay for itself. Come on, y'all, comment down below, and you can't tell me this ain't valuable. You can't tell me this is not valuable. All right. So let's jump. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for now to get back to it and wrap this up. So we covered the mortgage side. We talked about business banking. So most people think the bank only lends to perfect people or perfect clients and applicants. Real lending is about structure. So you don't have to be perfect. You just need to be organized and presentable. Very, very important. We'll wrap this up on the investing and wealth side. So TD's investing and wealth navigation. This includes TD automated investing, which is going to be like self-directed investing. TD private client group. This is where you work directly with an advisor. There's going to be thresholds for this stuff. So keep that in mind. So starter investors, the automated investing lane is going to be best for you. That's going to be self-directed investing. Growing households is going to be the advisor lane. High net worth individuals, 7+ figures. Private client group lane. That's going to be the different brackets that they're offering. So there's something for almost everybody. All right. Banks treat you differently when you're building assets and not just paying bills. Please bookmark that. Banks treat you differently when you are building assets and not just paying bills. There's a game-changing way to look at things. So what are the wealth gap levers when it comes to TD Bank? So TD's wealth gap levers are equal or the latter they offer credit access, responsible utilization, and relationships. We know that they offer everything from credit building to premium lending products when it comes to credit cards. We went over the mortgage side, the business side, capital access, right? Bank, business deposits, merchant, and lines. So basically in English, business deposit relationship, they give you the full accounting, payment processing portion in-house. And then that leads to you qualifying for loans and lines of credit, potentially up to 100 grand with minimal documentation, especially if you're banking with them and running that cash flow through their institution. If you're looking for 100 to 250, you can still apply remotely, but you may need a little bit more documentation. They're still saying you may only need 1 year business tax returns for up to 250. That's still powerful. That's low doc still. Once you hit 250 and beyond, that's when you're going to have to go into a branch, probably work with some kind of relationship manager and provide nearly, if not all, full documentation. Asset access, affordable mortgages, and refi pathways. Powerful stuff. We went over that a second ago. Investment access, automated advisor, all the way up to private client. So the wealth gap isn't just about income, it's access. TD has real access levers if you build that relationship the right way. If you already bank with TD Bank, I want you to comment down below and tell me what that relationship's been like. Tell me what your goals are now that you have a broad-based view of all of the wealth gap levers that they have available. And let me know your highest limits with them. If you've gotten business funding with them, if you've gotten a mortgage with TD Bank, what your experience was like, if you've used some of the products that we covered in this video. And if you're curious to start banking with TD, or if you bank with them and have slept on all these products, comment that down below and I might be able to point you in the right direction on what lever you want to pull based on your financial goals. I'll now get in the comment section and engage with you one-to-one. So all my pioneers, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. I want you to like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel so the channel can continue to grow and support you. Get in the description section down below and time with me on Instagram and TikTok. I also want you guys who are new to the channel to be aware that I am a banker and financial services professional by trade. I have a life insurance license, mortgage loan originator's license, a FINRA investment license, as well as a small business banker. I maintain a client relationship book of around $25 million in deposits, in the neighborhood of $50 million in investment relationships, 7 to 8 figures a year in lending relationships between consumers and small businesses. That includes mortgages. So it's important for you to know you're getting this content from somebody who's actively in the field and providing this type of insight, information, and relationship development and wealth gap closing information to real clients and real people on a day-to-day basis, businesses and everyday individuals. So again, I want you to comment down below, get engaged in the comment section. I want you to time with me on other platforms and support this channel, boost it if it gives you the option, so I can continue to put out quality content that will help you actually grow healthy relationships, master the relationships with banks to help increase your net worth and improve your quality of life. Other than that, I want each and every one of you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.